So I'm back on the PBE servers today to show you this new champion, Gnar. Or I think it's Gnar anyway, with the silent G. Anyway, the store is disabled so I couldn't play it myself, but I did watch 2 good games which showed 3 different builds on this guy, ADC, tank, and AD again, but he was at top lane so it's kinda different. So I'll be going through the highlights of these 2 games and we'll be looking at how people play this guy for the first time, at bot lane and then at top. Now I don't know how this champion would work out as a marksman, because the guy that I was spectating was playing way too passively in my opinion. His tendency to transform into the melee mode Hulk makes me think he's fairly unsuited to play the role. Apart from that, he does have a pretty good kit for an AD carry. He has percentage health damage, he has movement speed buffs for kiteability, and he has a gap closer. Sure, his megaform gives him improved tank stats and more AD, but he loses out on movement speed, range, and attack speed, which are all vital stats on a marksman. You could be chasing or kiting back, and then boop, you've just transformed into a slow melee champion who can no longer chase nor kite. Regardless, this guy still plays it, and he does decently. He's opted for the Bloodthirster and he's rushed Berserker Greaves with the Fury enchantment, which complements Gnar's ability to kite with his W passive. Throughout the rest of the game he then starts building into a Triforce, but we never get to see the end of the game because unfortunately I crashed. We see here that transforming makes players feel very vulnerable. As soon as he starts transforming into Mega Gnar, the player retreats almost immediately, before re-entering the battle as the ugly one. However, this is where I feel he should have committed himself there, because then he starts beating the living daylights out of Jinx. But then he backs off mid-fight. You can't run away in the Megaform, I just think he's way too slow. With the bonus tank stats and the bonus base AD, I think he should be looking to fight as Mega Gnar. His 400 range leads me to believe that he can't be played at bot lane effectively. That's 100 less range than Lucian after the 4.12 changes. Even Urgot has a higher attack range. At bot lane, you'll probably be harassed and poked for free every time you go for a CS. As a top laner, it'll probably be more effective as you'll probably find more melee champions up there, which in turn you can poke and annoy easily. I find his sudden transformations to be really awkward. Well, awkward and humorous.
My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me.
So overall, I don't think ADC Gnar at bot lane is the ideal thing to do. Let's take a look at some Gnar top lane. So here we are, a mirror matchup with both tank Gnar and full AD Gnar at top lane. It's a bit of a circus really, with both of them jumping around all the time, but we'll get through it. Both of these players, unlike the first one we've seen, they do something a little bit more interesting. Rather than retreating as they transform, they use their bounce to gain further distance towards their target as they're transforming, and they land as Mega Gnar to engage the fight. Unfortunately, the boulder skill shot gets stopped by a minion, so the Yordle skips away with his life. The blue side Gnar has rushed armor with the ninja tab you pick up. He's starting to build into full tank Gnar, whereas on the other side, we have purple Gnar opting for the full AD build with the double Dorans and the BF sword. It seems to be going in favour of the AD build, as he's currently 2-0, but we don't know for sure whether it's because of the build, or the player's familiarity with the champion, or their differences in skill level. Later on we have the same sort of engage with the bounce into the Hulk mode. However, due to his lack of mobility, he gets kited by his smaller counterpart. And I think one of the best moments happen here. The Sejuani decides to avenge his teammate and gank the victorious Yordle. So after picking up double buff from Sejuani and scoring the double kill, he hops back to lane, 3 levels higher than his opponent, and obliterates him in a 1v1. Despite the enemy transformation. After going back to buy, a chain vest was picked up on the tanky Gnar, and a Bilgewater Cutlass on the other. A 1v2 ensues. Keep in mind that at this point, the purple side Gnar has 212 AD, whereas the tank Gnar is still sitting on his base AD. Purple Gnar cleverly uses his bounce to finish off the white and leaps over the wall, which then leads to a fairly lengthy chase of primitive Yordles around the topside jungle. Purple Gnar has picked up Mercury Treads for the tenacity, and the blue side Gnar has purchased cloth armor, possibly building into a Thornmail. The AD build is currently 7-0, opposed to the tank build, who is unfortunately on 0-5, with less than half of his opponent's CS. Scaring the blue one off, purple over here decides to steal their blue buff. I find the Mega Gnar stun here really similar to Donkey Kong's headbutt in Super Smash Bros. One smart thing I noted here was that the player kept his transformation. His next ability or basic attack would trigger the transformation, and so he decides to return to fight, knowing this. He completes his Blade of the Ruined King for more attack speed, and also picks up the Fury enchantment for his Mercury Treads to help with the kiting and chasing. His counterpart has now finished his Thornmail, but is still way behind. After picking up a double kill, he secures himself the unofficial triple kill by throwing a blind Q into the bush. Fast forward a few seconds and his team is pushing the tower. He kites with his mobility for 1 kill, and then jumps straight into the teamfight with his Mega Transformation and all of its glorious bonus stats for the double kill. He goes man mode in the enemy base, dodges the Sejuani ult, and then jukes them with his bounce to gain further distance to escape the base. As the purple team are pushing the bottom tower, Gnar overestimates his strength and tanks too much. He has no tank items whatsoever, which then breaks out into a 3v3 featuring the Gnar brothers fighting over who mother loves best. Unfortunately, they both died. As the purple team were ending the game, a final fight breaks out. The tank Gnar has built a giant spell since the last time we saw him, and the AD1 has completed his Triforce and has also picked up a chain vest. Ideally, I think Gnar should be building AD with 1 or 2 tank items in the mid game, since he would need to transform at some point in a team fight, unless you manage it very well. His ultimate is also a multiple knockback. I'm fairly certain you can pull off a really good combo by jumping over the enemy team and ulting them towards your team, which is basically Gnar's take on Lee Sin's Insect. At the end of the match, we can see that AD Gnar dealt the most damage in the game, around 32,000 to champions. I think that the transformation mechanic that Gnar has is best suited to top lane, as he would benefit hugely from the kiting ranged kit that he has and the tank CC abilities that he gets when he transforms. So right now he looks pretty fun to play and he doesn't look ridiculously OP or anything, so that's pretty good. Then again, people are just learning to play him, so we won't know whether he's a hidden OP or anything right now. No one has really mastered him. His Fury Bar and transformation is an interesting mechanic, that's for sure, and we'll see how it goes when it gets released onto the live servers. But just to note, everything that you see in this gameplay and in these clips that you see, they can be completely changed because it's currently being tested right now on the PBE servers. So thanks for watching.